So today we're going to talk about types of triangles. And but before we get into that, let me know, what do you remember about triangles? What do we know about triangles? Anyone want to tell me? Yes.
The degrees, like, what is it?
What about the degrees?
Like, the degrees at a 180, like.
Yeah. That's great. So the triangles will always have three sides and three angles, right? The angles are the space between the sides. And those angles will always add up to 180 degrees. That's what's special about triangles. That's what makes them unique. So today we're going to talk about the different types of triangles, but I want you guys to be able to figure this out on your own. So there's a bunch of toothpicks in front of you. Don't touch them just yet. What we're going to do is I'm going to give you guys 20 seconds to put together these toothpicks into different kinds of triangles. So each toothpick is one side, and they're different colors because each color is a different length. So toothpicks that are the same color are the same length. All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
Go. Such beautiful triangles. I love them. Okay, so what are some patterns you notice? Let's look at these triangles. What do you notice about the first one? Let's look at that one.
They're all
All
regular
the sides,
toothpicks.
all the sides are the same.
Exactly, all the sides are the same. And well, how about the angles? Look at the space between them. Do they look about the same? Do they look really
Yeah.
different? Yeah. Okay, so this is our first type of triangle. It's called an equilateral triangle. And an equilateral triangle basically means that all sides are equal. So that's how you can remember it, equilateral. All three sides and all three angles are the same. So when I draw this line through it, it means equal. All three sides and all three angles are the same in an equilateral triangle. So that's the first type. Let's look at this triangle. This is an interesting one. So what do we notice about this one?
Two sides are shorter than one side.
Yeah, and they're both the same color, which means that they're also the same length.
Length.
Exactly. So this is our second type of triangle. Like that. So over here we see that two sides are the same, but the third side isn't. So this type of triangle is called isosceles. So isosceles triangles, you're always going to have two sides that are the same and one side that isn't. Let's look at that last triangle. It's a little bit different than the past two. What's different about it?
All sides are like different length.
Yeah, exactly. All sides are different and all angles are different too. So this kind of triangle is called a scalene triangle. And scalene triangles have three sides that are different and three angles that are different. So those are the three types of triangles: equilateral, scalene, and isosceles. So if I told you to do this activity again and I gave you another 20 seconds to make more triangles, you're always going to end up making either an equilateral, an isosceles, or a scalene triangle. So let me show you one last triangle that we didn't get to make. But this one is a little different. Do you see this angle over here? Now these two toothpicks are perpendicular. Can anyone remind me what perpendicular means?
They intersect at a 90-degree angle.
Yeah, so this angle over here is 90 degrees. Now notice when I put this over here, what angle is this?
90 degrees.
That's right. So when we have a triangle where one of the angles is 90 degrees, that triangle is called a right triangle. So we noticed that this triangle was an isosceles triangle, but it's also a right triangle. So you can have a triangle that is both a right triangle and an isosceles triangle. So that's what we have over here. So just remember, if two of these sides are perpendicular and the angle between them is 90 degrees, then you have a right triangle. How about we review? Everyone tell me one type of triangle.
Equilateral.
What does an equilateral triangle mean?
All sides are the same length.
Good job. Your turn.
A scalene triangle,
Mhm.
and all the sides are of different length.
Awesome. And?
Isosceles, where two of the sides are the same length and one's a different.
Nice. Great job, guys. Okay, so really quickly we're going to learn a chant about the different regions of the brain. Now each region of the brain has a different job, so I'm going to list the names really quickly, so pay attention to where they are in my head. At the back, this is called the occipital lobe. This is the parietal lobe. These over here next to your ears are the temporal lobes, and this is the frontal lobe. Okay? Now this chant goes to the tune of head, shoulders, knees, and toes. All right. Occipital, parietal, temporal, frontal, temporal, frontal. Occipital, parietal, temporal, frontal, temporal, frontal. Eyes and ears and taste and smell. Occipital, parietal, temporal, frontal, temporal, frontal.